I noticed something really interesting happening at my neighbor's house next door, and I thought it's a fantastic leadership lesson, so I wanted to share it with you all. Overnight, I saw a bunch of piles of dirt appear and line his driveway. There were so many of them that I counted them, and there was like 35 of them, truly. I thought, this is really strange to see doing gardening in the wintertime. And then I noticed that his grass was all torn up, as if somebody had gone in there and tried to till it up. And I thought, what could cause this? And so I just started observing over the next few days to find out what was happening. And I believe it's moles underneath the ground creating these tunnels, and they're lifting up the dirt piles all along his driveway. And I saw crows coming, and they are trying to get to the insects into the ground. So they're just chewing up his grass. And I think that's really fascinating because it shows that there's some activity underground that's trying to come up, and there's some activity above ground that's trying to go down. And I think that really applies to leaders because as leaders, it's really important that we dig down deep to get feedback from our staff and to find out what they're thinking and feeling. And this is just so important because this creates this two-way feedback culture where we as leaders give feedback to our staff, but we also listen to their feedback about us. So we need to be like the crows that are digging down deep to find out what staff think. But we also need to be like the moles where we unearth the key themes and the issues, which appear as these piles of dirt lining the driveway. So I really think it's an important leadership lesson to remember that we have to be conscious of what's happening underground and this network of activity, the moles that are digging their tunnels, and what we see above ground, the crows digging deep to get underground. That can serve to represent us as leaders and trying to find out what our staff think and doing something with that feedback, because it's one thing to listen to staff and get that feedback, but it's another thing to make sure that we respond and that we meet their needs. So I hope you got something from this lesson because I certainly did, and it all happened next door at my neighbor's house.